Okay, thank you very much. I want to start with thanking the organizers for inviting me to share with you some of our new data. I also want to say, before I just run into it, to the subject, that I don't think that we have a problem in the models that we are using. Like some scientists actually raised this thought. I think the self-administration model and the incubation of craving model have a very good face validity and construct validity as well. The predictive validity is a problem, so I think we should change the concept and not drop the models. And here I want to suggest one of these to look in a different angle, to a different probability to interfere with drug addiction. Okay, so how all this okay. So I will focus on the addiction that I tested here of cocaine. We still have a big problem of rehabilitation. Still about 40% early dropout, and people that really also get the progress till the end, 25 to 55 relapse within a year. So people are talking about biomarkers, approach that are requested to improve, the outcomes. Talking, but we don't have really something that we can, reliable one, that we can use with. Okay, so how this project started? And at that time we tested, and you also suggested a treatment using a food supplement called DHEA. And one of the days I get a phone call that one of the addicts actually want to drop out. Say, well, try to convince him not to, because we know that more time that you are, quit or get back to the drug, this is exponentially time that you're actually get less and less and be able to be free from the drug. But he insisted, and before he went back home, I asked him, so what is the story? And he said that he had an infection in his gum, and the dentist gave him antibiotics, and happily enough, he doesn't feel any craving. I didn't know this is really something to laugh at or something that is weird, but he insisted to go. And at that time, no one actually was talking about microbiome. So he went out, and I just kept it in my mind. One thing I crossed by is that in the previous history, רגע, איפה אנחנו? שיגעון מה שהולך כאן, אני לא יודע איפה אני יוצא. בוא נראה. לא יודע. זה כבר thank you. יש עוד קצת. זה גם יגיע. Okay. At the same time, two people, very prestigious people, also Rabbi Rambam, and also at the same time, Hippocrates came up with a slogan, אני לא יודע איפה אני נמצא, זה לא טוב לי ככה. טוב, אני אלך אחורה. בסוף זה יסתדר לי. They kept with a slogan saying that all diseases are starting in the gut. This was a philosophical, slogan, and not empiric, and it took till this anecdote that I told you, this story, it took 10 years till actually we started to have scientists looking at the microbiome in a physiological and pathophysiological, combination. And what's that? Okay, this is okay. Okay, so scientists showed that the microbiome of the gut, okay, can speak with the brain and can change the or actually control the development of serotonin, GABA, and dopamine. At the same time, people thought if this is it, so these three neurotransmitters also actually have a role in pathophysiology. And what about this? At the same time, the NIH established the gut microbiome. No, so I'm sorry. So, and then they talked about the interaction. They called the interaction the gut-brain axis. At the same time, this is the next one. Okay, the NIH established the Human Microbiome Project. The immediate thing was that they came up with different colonies, different populations exist in different parts of our body. And then the second thing that they published is that dysbiosis, meaning unpaired microbiosis, can relate to depression, anxiety, and also autism. So one of my students actually asked why not to try to see if this is also can relate to addiction. So if yes at all, so let's start and see if there is dysbiosis in relation to exposure to drug of abuse. So we use the self-administration model, and we just treat the rats with cocaine, and as a control also for מה? לא הבנתי. לא, אני לא צריך, אני צריך שתעביר את זה הלאה. מה קורה פה? בואי, אני גם צריך לראות את זה. לא צריך, בואי נראה ככה עוד קודם. זה קודם. אוקיי. We took samples of feces from every actually a step in the drug addiction, and this is the initiation. That's the first, introduction, then maintenance, then dropout, extinction, and then relapse. And all of them were analyzed for dysbiosis. Then we want also to look for the causality if we found something like this, and this will be the next thing. So what we did, we looked, and here we see, the analysis. This is a factorial analysis. The subject, this is the whole group factor analysis. All the rats that get shame, under shame, that get only okay. So this got only saline, and the others got the cocaine, and then most people actually that work with my microbiome are actually stuck at the family, and we don't have more resolution. We actually could get resolution up to the specific bacteria. So after we saw that there is a change, factorial change between exposure to saline or cocaine, went down and looked for the specific bacteria. And here we see that there are different kind of bacteria that are changed during the time course, the initiation one, and also after at the maintenance. By the way, very interesting, there are specific and different bacteria. So the progress actually, causes it, in a way that the bacteria follow up the different kind of the addiction, state. So we say, if this is right, we took the one that was more significant, we called it bacteria 1, and then what we did, we started to do causality. And okay, here. Before to gave it as an add-on, we use the oral lavage, so we can get it through till the stomach directly, very easily. Then the time window was between 18 and 26 days. Why? Because in earlier study looking for epigenetics, the most changes were happened in this time window after exposure to cocaine. So we thought it might be interesting to see and compare, the plasticity later on in the same thing. If there is a chronic effect, it should, affect also the epigenetics, and why not to look at the same time window? So we gave the rats with this specific bacteria, and we can see here that both extinction and both relapse were specifically attenuated. So we have a proof of concept now that there is something in rats. What about proof of concept to have in human? Does it also happen there, or this is something maybe only true for this model? So we went on, and as I said, we have a very tight collaboration with Retorno. At the same time, we ran a clinical trial on DHEA, which is food supplement, and I say, why not to try to take also feces, sample of feces from people that actually finished their rehabilitation progress and they released home. But we actually insisted to see a long-term effect. So all of these people were waited till the 6 months, and then some of them, we called them back, some of them dropped out, some of them were clean. And then we look again for the analysis of the microbiosis, and interesting enough, we saw that the people actually that have the same bacteria that I mentioned before were kept clean, and the people that didn't have it, it's not having and not having, it's meaning about the level, okay, because they are endogenous. They're not pathological, and they're endogenous. This is how much the specific actually is expressed. And so the people that have it highly expressed, they didn't get back to the drug. They stay clean, and only people that have it actually in a lower level, they dropped out. They actually get back to the drug. We're very happy with this. It's not causality because we didn't get the bacteria, but it's good enough to say that this can be, parallel to what we saw in the model. Okay, now we think that HCD can be used as a biomarker. If you now hesitate if to release the people or not to release the people, this is actually can be more many times. The person actually say that they feel very well. Sometime, כן, אני לא יודע למה זה ככה. כל פעם מזיז את זה, כדי שיחזור חזרה למה שזה היה. Thank you. מה עכשיו? תודה שאתה עוזר לי.
איפה אתה פה?
לא, ברגע בעבר.
וזה?
כן, כן. Okay. Okay, some limitation and some and some, and some challenges. We should have in mind that we should expect very high variability if we talk about population of the addict population, because there is a difference in the medical history, the diet, the medication that used, so on and so far. The other thing is, I saw you a very small size of population, of sample. We should increase the sample, and also the follow-up. What is about longer time and of big cleaning? But based on these biomarkers, we confirm that the microbiome can use first as a predictor and maybe also as a treatment later on. Okay. Okay. So we are now. You're talking about the metabolome. I'm not sure. I'm definitely sure that the bacteria do not penetrate the brain, but the metabolites are. And now we also score for the metabolites, a big huge metabolome that we have, and also something very preliminary, but it's so preliminary, so it didn't actually kept it here. So we're looking ahead. My vision is to have prebiotic or probiotic using these bacteria, which are not actually pathological, and based on this, to see also the molecular diagnosis of this, what is actually the specific mechanism that it works with. Also, it's very interesting to see what about some other drugs. Are they the same, or maybe not, or maybe what about combination of some drugs, to see how can we actually treat these. Gut microbiome could share as a biological predictor, as I said before, and even actually for relapse risk. Further work will focus on identifying of some other more bacteria. What about gender change and age? All of this also are things that can actually can be affected, can affect the response. So, summarizing the results, I might say that this is the finding support an active and biodirectional role of the gut microbiome on cocaine injection, further than secondary consequences. This one bacteria called by us bacteria 1, appears to exert regulatory effect on host metabolism, as I said before, and we're now on this actually analysis. We think this bacterial metabolites will be actually the main treatment and not bacteria itself. But it's too early to say so. The precise molecular mechanism remain only partly elucidated, and we want to get more into it to be sure and to know how to control, the effect. So this is also needed for further study. Okay. אוקיי, אמרנו, זה אמרנו ככה הפוך. Okay, and I want to give credit to two of my students that actually ran this study, Tzofnat and Eli. All of them were already not in the lab. Tzofnat did her postdoctorate and Eli his master. Also, say thank you for our collaborators. Yoram Luzon is a bioinformatician, and he did all the bioinformation. And Lior Lubal is the analyst of microbiome. And also Eitan Eckstein the director of Ferrotorno, and we're in touch for many years already. And thank you for all. And if you have any questions,